In the village of Nyumbani, where the soil was rich with secrets and the winds whispered of ancient myths, lived a woman named Sonia. She was a beauty that none could rival, her dark eyes like pools of mystery, her skin as smooth as river stones. But there was something more haunting than her beauty. Sonia had a reputation. It wasn't just her allure that made her the talk of the village, it was the myth that surrounded her, one that whispered of a woman whose hunger could never be satisfied. No man could ever fulfill her, no matter how grand their gestures, no matter how devoted their love. The village men, young and old, flocked to her, their hearts brimming with desire. Some were powerful, others handsome, but none were enough to fill the void that seemed to reside within Sonia's heart. For every man who left her bed, there was the same story, a fleeting moment of passion, followed by an emptiness that could never be filled. They whispered among themselves that Sonia was cursed, and though she smiled sweetly at them, Sonia began to wonder if they were right. Was there something wrong with her? A desire so immense that it could never be quenched. Her reputation spread to the neighboring villages, and soon, men from far and wide came to try their luck, each promising to be the one to satisfy her. But Sonia grew more restless with each passing night. The more they tried, the more she ached for something that none could provide. She was beginning to believe the village myths, the idea that her hunger for affection and love was a divine punishment, beyond the reach of mortal men. Then, one evening, when the sky turned dark as ink, a stranger arrived in Nyumbani. Unlike the others, he did not approach Sonia with gifts or declarations of love. He simply appeared at the village gathering, sitting quietly by the fire, watching her with a gaze that seemed to see straight into her soul. There was something different about him. He didn't try to impress her, didn't bow or flatter her as others had done. He listened. That was all. Sonia, intrigued, found herself drawn to him in ways she could not explain. As days turned into nights, she found herself talking to him about everything, the things she had never shared with anyone before. She spoke of her frustrations, of her longing, and the emptiness that grew within her with each failed attempt to find peace. The traveler didn't offer advice or try to offer solutions. He simply listened, his eyes filled with understanding, and for the first time, Sonia felt heard, seen, in a way no man had ever done before. Then, one night, as the embers of the fire crackled in the stillness of the evening, the traveler spoke. His voice was calm and steady, like the deep rhythm of the earth itself. Sonia, he said, you search for fulfillment in others, but what you seek is within you. The hunger you feel is not something anyone else can feel. It is a reflection of your own inner turmoil. The words hung in the air, settling into Sonia's chest like a weight lifting off her heart. Could it be true? Was it possible that the dissatisfaction she felt was not a curse placed by the gods, but rather a product of her own heart? Sonia realized then that her hunger wasn't something she could feel by seeking it in others. It was something she had to confront within herself. But before she could voice her thoughts, the traveler, with a knowing smile, stood up and offered his hand to her. You don't have to seek satisfaction from outside anymore, he said. Come with me, Sonia. Let me show you what true fulfillment is. Sonia, overwhelmed by a mixture of emotions, followed him into the night. The village, as always, was filled with whispers of her strange behavior. They spoke of her insatiable hunger, but they could not see the change that was taking place within her. The journey that awaited her was not one of seeking but of discovery. They retreated to his humble dwelling, a place filled with quiet simplicity, far from the noise of the world. As the night grew deeper, Sonia felt an unfamiliar peace in his presence. There was no rush, no demands, no grand expectations. For the first time in years, she felt at ease. When the two finally lay together, the sheets between them a gentle shroud of intimacy, Sonia realized something profound. It was not his body or his charms that filled the void she had been carrying for so long, it was his presence, his understanding, his care. He didn't see her as a puzzle to be solved or a prize to be won. He simply saw her, truly saw her, and in that moment, Sonia understood. The next morning, as the light of dawn crept over the horizon, Sonia and the traveler stood together, hand in hand. She was no longer the woman who sought love to fill her emptiness. She had found peace within herself, a truth that no myth or rumor could ever take from her. The village would continue to gossip, to speak of the woman who could never be satisfied, but Sonia knew the truth now: satisfaction didn't come from seeking. It came from understanding oneself and being loved without condition. As she left the traveler's side and returned to the village, she walked with a new confidence. She had learned the greatest lesson of all: the best way to win someone's heart was not to project one's desires or fantasies upon them, but to truly understand and appreciate them for who they were. In the end, it was the traveler's humble, quiet approach that had won Sonia over, showing her the power of inner peace and love that wasn't based on fulfillment but on acceptance. Lovely viewers, as the moral of the story goes, true satisfaction is not found in the pursuit of others, but in the quiet discovery of oneself. The best way to win a heart is to understand it, not to seek to fill it with one's own desires. What did you also learn from this story? I'd love to see you all share your thoughts in the comments below.